You want to learn trading, but don't know where to start. Perhaps you're frustrated, second guessing yourself when entering trades, facing emotions, losing money, and analysis paralysis. And you're sick of people pushing the same endless beginner technical analysis with generic information, just overwhelming you with no real strategy to actually succeed long term. And so in this video, I'm going to cover 3 steps to take to actually be a profitable trader. And for those of you who are new, my name is Kiran and I'm a professional trader. I've been in the markets now for over a decade, and I've had the privilege of helping people from all walks of life, so from their 20s to 70s, to be a consistently profitable trader. And some of them have actually gone to scale their trading to 6-7 figures and beyond. And trading has enabled me to leave my career as a doctor, and it has really enabled me to take control of my life. So kicking it off with step 1, which is to understand the game. And if we don't understand the game, then how can we succeed in trading? I can't tell you the countless number of people that have come to me for help in trading, but don't actually understand what trading actually fully involves. So a couple of weeks back, I just hopped off a call with a man. He's in his late 30s to early 40s, and he's a business owner. And he was buying stocks, waiting for the price to go up and taking profit, but every month his account balance would just fluctuate. It would just go up and down every single month. And so I explained to him, trading is about capital preservation. We're trying to preserve our existing capital whilst get steady, consistent cash flow. Investing is more about long-term growth, right? With trading, we're trying to buy contracts with predefined risk for every trade. And so we've minimized the downside, but also trying to maximize the upside. And so the whole point of trading is really to beat the market. So the S&P 500 index. And this tracks the stock performance of the 500 largest US companies. And so how do we actually beat the market? Well, this leads me to the second step, which is to develop your edge. There's nothing wrong with understanding things like candlestick patterns, chart patterns, and market structure. But these are just the basics. We don't want to actually be trading based on this. And actually, more information does not actually equal more profitability. And actually, sometimes less is more. And so if you're watching this, the odds are you're probably stuck at A and you want to get to B, which is being consistently profitable. Now, you need to drive a car to get from A to B. Now, do you need to know all the mechanics of the car? No, you just need to know enough to get from A to B. And in trading, it's not about what you know. It's about how you actually use what you know. So take, for example, a casino. Gamblers go to the casino. I mean, sure, they make money here and there. They usually give back money to the casino in the long run. Why? Well, because the casino has a statistical advantage or edge. It's rigged in favor of the casino. And the casino owner knows that if the gambler stays long enough, eventually the gambler will give back money to the casino. The casino does not need to win every single time, right? Because they have an edge. But if they stay long enough, eventually the edge will work in their favor. See, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And imagine having that same edge, but except this time, it's actually working for you instead of working against you. And so what you need to really focus on is developing your trading edge. And so this way, you have a step-by-step set of rules that actually makes you a profitable trader. For many years, I was stuck in this repetitive, frustrating cycle. I'd wait for the perfect 3-point touch setup like this. And what happened next? I would usually draw trend lines like this. Then I probably get stopped out. Then I would also try things like support, resistance, and I would mark them religiously. But what happened next? You guessed it, I got stopped out. I also tried RSI like they told me to, right? The market would be oversold and I would open a long position, I get stopped out. And so then I thought to myself, okay, maybe I need to have more information. And so I followed the news obsessively. But again, nothing worked. And news is so heavily manipulated. In fact, negative news gets 3 times the attention as positive news. And it's actually the chart that tells the story. News just accelerates price action that was meant to happen anyway. And so I became obsessed with finding the answers. So much so that I had to actually sacrifice some relationships and pretty much poured everything into being a consistently profitable trader. I was a bit like a scientist, running endless experiments, diving into every possible strategy, every indicator, every so-called hack, you name it, I've tried it. And the real truth is that most advice out there was very generic, vague, and just missing crucial details. I also worked with top hedge fund and institutional grade traders and really diving deep into the world of being a consistently profitable trader. And I got obsessed. I tested, I iterated, and refined before I actually stumbled across a solution. And this is when a light bulb moment actually went off, when everything clicked. The main problem that I had was discretion. I was being emotional. I didn't have a step-by-step set of rules to actually follow. And I was just guessing, relying on hope, really best guesses based on speculation. And so I think it's important to actually have a step-by-step set of rules that you need to follow. And really ask yourself, do you do this? Because if you don't, really speaking, you're just gambling. And we all know what happens to gamblers, right? Sooner or later, they lose everything. See, trading isn't about relying on hundreds of fancy indicators or chasing news headlines. It's actually about having step-by-step rules to actually guide your decisions. Because to get consistent results, you can't just take inconsistent actions. And so all of this revelation actually enabled me to develop my edge, right? And that just completely transformed the way that I traded. Another misconception people have is they don't have time to be a profitable trader, when in fact, what they're actually missing is an edge. So for example, I had a recent client, Chase. He's a real estate professional, and he was really busy, working 50 hours per week, managing a busy workload and his family with trading. And he was so convinced that he wasn't profitable because of his lack of time. But in reality, he was just doing the wrong thing. He didn't have a set of rules to actually follow, which enabled him to be profitable. And he was really reading the news, relying on hope. And so I really would like you to let go of that limiting belief. And actually, you can adapt your trading towards your lifestyle. For example, there's different types of trading. For example, you could be a scalper. And that is if you want a bit more action. So this is lower time frame. So we're talking 1 minute, 5 minute chart. Then there's intraday trading. And so this isn't as frequent as a scalper, but you probably have a trade every day. Then there's also a swing trader, which is you're holding trades maybe for a couple of days to a couple of weeks. Then there's also positional trading. And this is holding trades for weeks to months. And so remember, you're trying to get from A to B. You don't have to do all of this. You can do what suits your lifestyle. And this leads me to the final step, which is trading execution. See, trading is really 80% execution and 20% knowledge. And I would recommend starting off with perhaps a demo account. So here, and this is when you will learn practical aspects of trading, like position sizing, stop loss, take profit, risk management. And you will make mistakes, and that's okay. But the main thing is you're making mistakes as cheaply as possible. And this teaches you aspects of trading like execution. And my recommendation is actually to focus on fewer pairs as possible when you're starting. And I've noticed this is a common trait of some of the best traders. Because they focus on fewer pairs initially, they become a specialist. And I've noticed this across the years, across many traders that come to me for help. Initially, they're just focusing on too many pairs, and so they overcomplicate things. And of course, for your charting software, you can keep it simple and use TradingView. You can't trade on a demo account forever, because here, you're not emotionally invested. You're not risking real money. So once you've got a system and once you're consistently profitable, potentially transition to a small live account. So maybe $100, $200 account, nothing crazy. And here you're just more invested in your decisions. And you feel the pinch of losses. And once you're consistent with this, you can then focus on scaling to a much larger account. So perhaps you can drip feed a portion of your paycheck. You don't even need to trade your own money. You can actually scale and access more capital as well. And so you really can focus on the process of being consistent. A lot of people are in a rush to bypass this process and make money as quickly as possible. But expectations are the enemy of the market. And isn't it funny how that works? Because the more you chase money, the more money just seems to run away from you. And if you think about it, the people who need the most money in the world seem to have the least. But the people who need money the least seem to get even more money. The hungry are never fed. And that is the harsh reality. And so I really think it's about just embracing the process. And the funny thing is that it just happens much quicker. And if you want to fast track your trading journey and avoid costly trading mistakes, then you can't afford to check out my previous video.